All right. Hello guys, OverBidden here. In this video, I'm going to talk about my decision of stop playing top lane for League of Legends in this preseason and my reasons behind this decision. Okay, so first of all, I want to show you a interesting data table. Okay, so what I did was I went to the opgg.com, I went to the Korean leaderboard, I click every single one of these players on the very top of the ladder from number 1 to number 50, and I record their position. Okay, so as you can see, from number 1 to number 10, we have one top laner, okay, 2 junglers, 3 mids, 2 ADCs, and 2 supports. Okay, and I also mark down the position that this top lane player holds, right, which is number 9. Okay, not too promising, right? But that's only for number 1 to 10. Let's see if anything can change, right? And so for number 11 to number 20, I mark down everybody's role, and then the top lane position is number 19. The same goes to number 21 to 30, 30 to 40, etc., etc. Okay, and then I also calculate the percentage of the players that are in each rows, right, among these 50 players. Okay, so we have 12% of players that are playing top, which is 6 players, right? And then 20 for jungler, which is a pretty balanced role. Middle has 30, which is understandable. And then there's ADC, there's support, right? Some interesting things I want to point out on this data table is that we have more support players that play support, right, than the top lane players, right? We have 7 players that are playing support, or 7 accounts rather, and we have 6 top laners. Okay, and then the second thing is among these 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts that are on the top 50 Korean solo queue, 2 accounts are held by the SKT top laners, right? Utara. Okay, I believe he has number 9 and number 23. Okay, so that says a lot about the current status of the top laner, right? And also the reason that I chose Korean solo queue instead of NA solo queue or some other regions is that Korean is the best region, right? And they have the most competitive solo queue. And comparing to NA, a lot of players that are on the top of the ladder, they just stop playing the game during the preseason, right? So among all these 50 players, I would say all of them played solo queue, and they deserve that spot. Okay, so yeah, that's the data table that I want to show you, and this also resonates of my own experience. Okay, what I mean by that is that I play a lot of games. Okay, after hitting Diamond about half a week ago, about a week ago already, and then I played on my solo queue rank, right, about Diamond MMR, Diamond 5 MMR. Okay, at one point I reached Diamond 4, but this time I didn't pick tank, right? Especially for the last few days, I specifically picked Irelia, and just to see how the game goes, and I also recorded my experience, right? And then these are my experience. As you can see, these are not like very good experience. Okay, I also recorded for 1 day, but the same experience happened to me for 3 days in a row. Okay, first of all, I want to define what is a good game and what is a bad game for me. A good game to me is something that it's a game that comparing to my lane opponent. Okay, so top lane versus top lane, right? In my case, if I perform better, okay, overall, not doing the laning phase, okay, laning, middle roam, and late game teamfight, all that, right? If I perform overall better than my lane opponent, I should be rewarded of a win, right? And I should also feel that I can contribute to the game, okay, myself, okay? I should have a say of the game is gonna win or it's gonna lose, right? I shouldn't like totally rely on my teammates' performance, right? No matter how I do, okay? So if I hit all the good points, I will call this game a good game. If I miss all the things that I just mentioned, I call this game a bad game. Okay, and let's go through the games, okay, game by game. And it's gonna be very detailed. And if you can't follow, if you don't want to follow, feel free to skip through a few minutes, and I will have the conclusion at the very end. Okay, so first game, Irelia versus Drafor. we lost the game. Jungler goes 1-4. I did alright. Didn't get any advantage during the laning phase. What I mean by that is I didn't kill the Jar 4. Can I kill the Jar 4 1v1? Yes, I can. Can I kill Jar 4 1v2 when the jungler is so behind? Obviously, I don't have the jungle pressure, right? The enemy jungler is always... I'm always under threat of being killed by the enemy jungler. No. So I farm and farm, and it was 30 CS ahead. Does it matter? No. We lost the game. Maybe it's just unlucky, right? We have a 1-9 jungler, right? Let's go to the second game and see what happened. Irelia versus Ohm. We lost the game. Jungler never came. I got dove once. Didn't get any advantage during the laning. Can I go aggressive versus Ohm when my jungler was not at my side and enemy jungler wasn't seeing? No. So I farmed and kept my CS even. I got dove. Okay. Jungler snowball our mid and bot, but they didn't hold the lead. Okay, back game. So this can go back to the point that I mentioned. I didn't feel that I can contribute to the result of the game at all. So I call this a bad game. Okay. Second, Irelia versus Graves. We lost the game. Our jungler ganked once for me at level 3 to 4. Huge win during the landing phase. I solo killed the Graves 4 times. Very strong throughout the game. I'm very strong throughout the game. Team died for no reason. I split maybe too much and died 2 times. I can maybe group more and not die. Stop killing Graves and kill the map. Okay. So this game I couldn't win, but it's a GG because I feel like if I switch my focus a little bit, I could win the game. Okay, so it's up to me to win the game. Okay, so we call this game a GG, even I lose. Okay, fourth game, Irelia versus Teemo, we win the game. Jungler gank once at level 4 when Teemo under my tower from the beginning with no words. Yeah, sure. Huge win during the landing phase and then killed the Teemo 5 times. Didn't really do much after that. What I mean by that is I didn't really help snowball anybody else. I was just splitting and creating some pressure, but my team was winning by themselves. So I didn't feel like I really contributed too much to the game. We call this a meh game. Okay? And then the fifth one. Irelia Nocturne, I listed jungler this time, versus Malphite Lee. We lost the game. Jungler lost jungle pressure at second buff. He took a really stupid path, and the Lee Sin invaded him at the second buff. So he lost the second buff, he lost the jungle pressure. I was under the threat of being dove at the early with huge wave piling up at my tower. I had to recall and TP back, right? Even though I outplayed the Malphite and the Malphite burned the TP at level 2, it didn't matter because his TP came back earlier. And then Malphite TP bottom, I got the double kill, and we GG of that. I should have just picked Maokai. I just said that. Okay, it's a terrible game. Terrible game. Okay, that's game number 5. Number 6, Irelia versus Wukong. I lost the game. I have the big advantage early, but couldn't really transition it into anything. During team fights, I did really good for two times, and then lost the game because people threw. Okay, looks like another typical game. A bad game that I didn't really have much to say about the game. I kind of won the landing phase. I kind of outperformed the Wukong, I feel like, but we lost the game. Okay, and the 7th game, the last one for that day. Okay, Irelia versus Nasus. We lost the game. I played bad. So, however, every death was from enemy jungler. I picked up the kills that was there. Team was blaming each other and tied back. Right, as you can see, maybe I was tilting a little bit. Mid gave up. Back game. Okay, so that's my whole experience. Okay, not only, and it's similar to like several days behind, before this day. Okay, so I finally say I had enough. Okay. And then we come to the conclusion, right? Number 1 is bruisers are in a very bad situation right now, and they will be worse after the next patch. What I mean by that is it's already happening, okay? The patch 7.23 happened yesterday, and then let's see if I can 7.24. So for bruisers, most of the bruisers can only take press attack, right? In the precision tree, and the press attack is getting nerfed, and then this one Trump is getting nerfed, okay? And then this one is getting nerfed by 1% of the damage as well. And then if I follow the logic of the best solo queue player that I believe in the world, who is Dopa, and then he once says that if a champion or a role is getting nerfed, you should never play that champion in the solo queue. If I follow that logic, I shouldn't even play Bruiser top lane anymore, right? So yeah, that's that. So they will be even worse after the patch. And then tank top is the correct pick, but can't really carry the game. Obviously, if you play tank versus tank, right, you are not supposed to kill him 1v1, or you are not supposed to get a huge advantage, right? Unless you are like more skilled comparing to your opponent. But I mean, yes, that's the way you are supposed to climb, but you know what I'm saying, right? The tank just doesn't have the ability to have a huge advantage. Okay. And then number 2, counter pick means a lot when picking top lane champions. This does not happen consistently in solo queue. What I mean by that is the pick order really matters. Okay, I play top lane for like, what is it, the 3rd season already, right? And every time I can feel that, not I can feel that, it's a fact that if I pick behind the enemy top laner, I will have a significant more advantage compared to the enemy top laner, right? If they pick a bruiser, right, I can pick a tank to counter, okay? And then, or I can pick another bruiser that I really feel comfortable to fight against it, right? And if they, or they pick a tank, I can pick the ranged champion to maybe punish that, okay? So whenever I'm at the number 1, number 2, or even number 3 pick order, I always ask my team to say, can I pick for someone else so I can have a lower pick order so I can have the counter pick? But in solo queue, not all the players understand the importance of this pick order for the top laner, or they're just AFK, they just don't have enough champion to make the switch, or just it doesn't happen in solo queue, right? Number 3 of the conclusion. Junglers have too much to say of how the top laner goes. 90% of the time, kills advantage happens after jungle ganks. I don't want to play 2v2, 1v2, or 2v1. What I mean by jungle ganks is that the jungler doesn't have to gank for me. The jungler just have to show presence, right? Have some pressure, okay? If my jungler or the enemy jungler is like in the river, right, fighting another jungler, getting invade, being invade, or gank middle, that's a lot of information for the top lane, okay? I can like go aggressive, I can force the opponent to miss some CS, or I will have to play back and miss some CS, I can go for the kill, I can go for the all-in, all that, okay? It's based on where my jungler is. And comparing to middle, it's more, that effect is more significant, because middle you kind of like in a really short lane, right? It doesn't really matter that much, but top you are constantly, or at least you supposed to constantly think about where the enemy jungler is and where my jungler is, okay? And that to me, it's a 2v2 lane. That's not a 1v2 lane anymore. And it's more, and the effect is getting more, it's getting bigger during this preseason, because during this preseason junglers are stronger. Okay, top laners are just there. Okay, and I will never play bot, because bot is a 2v2 lane. I'm a solo queue player. Okay, so that also contributes to the reason that I want to stop playing top. Okay, and then that goes to my 4th conclusion, which is playing top feels like playing a second support for the team. It's very hard to solo carry, and then also says right here, it's hard to solo carry the ladder, and then, well, you rely on team to do well. When you do well, you are just only an enabler for your team. Other roles has much more impact to the outcome of the game. Okay, obviously there are some like really good players right now during the preseason. TF Blade, right, Kali One Trick, and Uela carries you. They climb their main account or like several Smurfs account to like high diamond, challenger, master, whatever the case is. But they are smurfing, right? They are the outliers, right? And as the preseason becomes longer, okay, and as we are going to the real season, okay, official season, the Riot themselves says that during the preseason, especially at the beginning of the preseason, people tend to play a lot of boozers or damage dealers, right? They don't play enough tanks, and as time goes by, people will realize the importance of tanks, and then there will be more and more tanks being played at the top lane. And then the top lane is just, especially for boozers, are just gonna be in a shitty place. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for all my rant. Okay, and if you wanna listen to the similar topics, right, I have Hasinshin's video linked below as well. Hasinshin is a Jax player that once he reached Challenger, he invites Wicked, which is a very famous EU, right? Used to be a pro player, Uvela player, and then Uvela carries you, right? He recently reached Challenger, and then some other players, right? They sat down and they talk about things that I just talked about for like several hours, right? 4 hours, I believe, in 2 videos. Okay, so feel free to check those videos out if you are interested. And the goal for myself for this winter is still gonna try to climb to Diamond 3, but most likely I'm gonna try to play middle. Okay, so if you are interested in that, feel free to check out my Twitch channel. Okay, I will have the link down below. Okay, this video is already pretty long, so thanks for watching, I guess. Okay, and I will see you next time. Okay, peace.